so I just thought I'd do a quick video today on what I do after I've had a gig. So I've got my gig bag with my electric guitar and I've got my gig bag with my acoustic guitar. So I'm just going to show you after, so like the day after the show, what kind of things I do to prepare them for the next show or just to make sure things are okay. This video is basically about maintenance and, you know, prevention of any issues that might occur later on, like breaking a string, breaking the nut or the, you know, things like that. So anyway, let's have a look at maybe the acoustic first and we'll go over some things that we need. So the first thing I actually do is I open up the front pocket to see what I had in there for the gig. So things like, example, water. You don't want to leave your water, or if you have any snacks or food in a gig, you don't want to leave it in your gig bag for a week or two. You know, when you get back it might get mouldy. So any old food or anything you had, snack, get those out. I took with me a tuner, clip-on tuner, so we'll actually use that today to check on the guitar. I've got things in here like a strap, so things like go over the end of the strap where it connects onto the strap button and just make sure there's no cracks, it's not about to tear. I just saw a video recently of David Gilmour playing in Rome on one of his shows, and as he was playing Comfortably Numb, his strap broke as he was playing. So it's just good to have a look now and just make sure everything's working as it should. Make sure there's no rips or tears, you know. But this is pretty good, so we can fold that up nice and neat, and then we can pop that back in the case, and we know we have that for later. I've also got a spare XLR cable and an SM58. So just open it and make sure I didn't lose anything. So when you play a gig, depending where you are, it might be good to put your name on it so you know it's yours. Check that you have all the adapters that come with it. So I can basically turn up to a gig. If they need a spare SM58, I can put this onto their mic stand, whether they have a big attachment or a little attachment, it doesn't matter. So that's all good. This microphone barely gets used live. It's only like a backup. And most places use SM58, so we can pop all that back. The only other things in there are my lyric books. They're all fine, so good. We can put those back in. And then we can move on to the main course, the actual guitar itself. So here's my acoustic, fresh from the gig. I was in a bit of a hurry to get it in its case, so I haven't even tied the cable back up for the pickup. But now's a good time to just look over it and make sure again. Any new dents and scratches you have, any finger marks, you know, because I played in a bar, you might get some sticky residue from any drinks. There are some here. There's lots of sweat residue, so we can clean that off. Still got my pick at the top. Inside my case, I have a little flap here for things. So yeah, make sure if you use a capo, make sure that still works. Spare load of picks. And this is for the cable. So the first job I'm going to do since the gig is to actually wrap up this cable and stick it back in the sound hole so it's out the way. Nice and quick job. What I use for keeping my cables together is I use these Velcro tie straps. They're very handy and reusable. So they have Velcro. It's furry on one side and sticky on the other. You just pop that through there, pull it tight, Velcro, all done. And then I just push it under the strings, into the sound hole, and forget about that until I need to use it. Right, that brings me neatly onto strings. So let's have a look. So now's a good time to actually check the condition of the fretboard and the strings and deal with that first, and then we can clean up the body later. So all you have to do is pick up your strings, run your fingers under, and see if you can feel anything, any residue, any lumps in the strings. I can feel a few lumps, probably where the pick's been attacking it and stuff, but you can generally have a feel and a scratch. That sound is probably going to annoy people. So what we can do is we can clean the strings after every use using stuff like this. So I use GHS Fast Fret string cleaner and lubricant. So nice and easy. Take out the pick first. Oh, while we're here, just check the nut for any damage, because in transport these are very easy to knock and to break. Same with machine heads. Yeah. We can actually use a screwdriver and tighten up machine heads if you have to. I had to on the B string machine head, but all you do is at the end, if you can see, there's some screws at the end. You just put in the screwdriver and you just tighten it or loosen it however you want. These are all fine though, so we'll tune that when we're done. So yeah, strings. Let's open this. It basically comes with a cloth and an applicator. So all you do is you run it up and down your strings and fretboard. Like that. Make sure to go over every string. And then there should be a lid somewhere. Oh, yeah. So, if you're sensitive about your guitar body, you can put some cloth down or anything, but I'm okay with this. This is I've had this guitar for quite some time. It's had chips and bangs and wear, it's fine. It's not a garage queen. Anyway, speaking of things like that, it gives you an opportunity to repair things that may come off. So for this scratch plate, it actually was broken and was peeling off, so I've glued that down. Things like that. Check on your pickups. I've actually had this fall out one night, so it's just a good time to make sure that's securely fastened. Back to the strings. I get the cloth. You put it under each string one at a time. Like that, lift it up. Oh, and you get a lovely squeaky sound. But basically, when the squeaky sound is, you can hear it's nearly gone now. That means it's done its magic. So, if you can see, all that dirt was actually underneath the string. And that's what wears them out prematurely. So, it's good to do this after each gig. We go on the next string, and you just go backwards and forwards on each string. You can buy devices that clamp around all 6 strings and you can do it in one, but I like to just do this individually. I'm in no rush. Quite a squeaky string, but they will be on the wound strings. They'll be squeakier, I guess. Get the cloth under. Now onto the D string. If you finger pick a lot and you've got greasy fingers, this area is going to be quite dirty. I was finger picking a lot recently, so as you can see, look at all the... Ugh. And then A string. Finally the E string. There we go. Give it a nice little... Get all the excess off. Inspect the fretboard. I mean, there's a little bit of grime. When I next have a string change, I can clean all this grime off. It's already had a big clean, but my fingers get a bit grimy on the old strings. Ugh, as you can see, I won't use my fingers to point. I'll use my good hand. There we go. So now if you look at the strings, put your finger under, that's a lot nicer, okay? Very good, right. Check the bridge pins, make sure they're fully in. Yep. And just general, now I know all this is all sticky, so to wipe this, what I use is, I use water wipes. They say baby wipes, but if you read it, they're 99% water, which is what we want for the body. People use all sorts on the bodies, you know, they use polish and stuff. Depends on the finish. I mean, my guitar's a poly finish anyway, so it's not going to hurt. The only thing I've got to be careful of, because it's water, is just not to touch anything metal, because they're not stainless steel frets or anything, so it would help not to wear it down. So all I do is I get a water wipe, get all the sticky residue off around. When I restring the guitar, I do a full body clean anyway, all the nuts. But for now, after each gig, just get the body wiped down, because it's like I said, if you're playing in a bar, it's going to be sticky from the beverages. Get around the bridge. Some people don't even touch their guitars, but I like to have a nice clean guitar, to be honest. Same with the headstock. It might be sticky up there using the machine heads. Give that a bit of a wipe. Nothing serious. And then to get that off, because it's water, it will just, you know, water and dust sticks. Just get a microfiber cloth and run that over afterwards. Keep going until it's completely gone. I suppose you could use alcoholic wipes if you have any, like you get for a TV screen. I'm not quite sure if that is good for a body finish. Maybe polyurethane, you'll get away with it. Certainly not nitrocellulose. Get under there, in between this. I'm not trying to get the strings, just trying to get underneath, in between. And then you can turn the guitar over. And it's not so sticky on the back, it's just the front where my hands have been. So we can just give this a wipe. The neck, most importantly, for playing. Make sure there's nothing sticky on the neck. Good, just a big dent there. In that. And there we go, there's one last bit of the puzzle. And that's to make sure, speaking of straps, that the strap locks are nice and secure. So what you can do is get your screwdriver and just make sure everything's tight. Nip it up if it's not. This guitar has one on the back. I don't have an output jack on the back. That's why I have the guitar. That's why I have the pickup in the sound hole. Nice and tight. Last thing we want is for that to come off. Job is a good one. There we go. So that is one guitar that's been, the strings have been cleaned, the body's been cleaned, all sticky residue has come off, everything's been tightened up, the case we've gone through to make sure there's no food left in there, things like that. And yeah, if you need to change the string, you can change it. Any repairs you need to do, now's a good time. And I know if I close this case, I'm good to go for another gig if I have one soon. There's only other thing you could possibly do, depending how good your case is. That's where you grab yourself your tuner and you just give it a quick tune before you whap it back in the case. So being in the case, it was quite sharp, I guess. We do have drastic temperature changes this time of year here, so... Oh. Because cleaning the guitar, you can knock things as well. Well as, oh, that was on. Good. And we should have... Good, all in tune. Back in the case, nice and clean. Close the lid. Zip it up. Tune it back in for another day. Completely finished. Now the process for the electric guitar is exactly the same. Go through the bag, pull out what you don't need. Use this stuff, not sponsored. Fast fret on the frets and the strings. Check everything's nice and tight. You can use a little brush if you need to clean any any areas that you're hard to get to, and then tune it up and put it back in. So there we go. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that's helpful. But that is what I do after a gig with my guitars, just to make sure that they're good to go for next time. So anyway, thank you, comment, like and subscribe.